For the last 12 weeks, I've been trying to get down to 10% body fat and finally get a six-pack before I turn 40. 8 more weeks to go. And to be fair, it's been going pretty well. I've lost weight, I'm seeing results, and for most of the challenge, it's actually been relatively plain sailing. But recently, things have started to feel a little different. The leaner I get, the harder it gets, obviously. And the more I've started questioning why this goal matters so much to me in the first place. Because after speaking to the experts throughout the series, I'm beginning to realize that the body we're constantly sold as the epitome of health might not actually be that healthy after all. And if I'm being completely truthful, my obsession with getting leaner probably hasn't always come from the most positive of places. So today I'm speaking to Tom, a psychotherapist specializing in eating disorders, and basically giving him permission to rummage around inside my brain. We're going to look at where this goal came from and how my relationship with food and my body has developed over the years, and ultimately ask the slightly uncomfortable question, am I doing something healthy for unhealthy reasons? That's profound.
I'm Tom Midgley. I'm the founding director of the Rover and Body Image Treatment Clinic on Harley Street. I'm also a cognitive and behavioural and compassion-focused psychotherapist and a highly specialist eating disorders dietitian. I specialised in eating disorders, body image and trauma for around the last 25 years. GLP-1s are impacting both positively and very negatively. We've had some clients who've had fantastic results, who are prescribed the medication and have consistent support for managing that medication. So there are individuals who the medications have significantly improved their health because of health issues related to their physical state, and these medications have been transformative. The main thing we also hear and see is the massive abuse of this medication is rife. The amount of people we see who are accessing this where they're already a healthy weight with no medical rationale, and it's so easy to access by legitimate means through pharmacy routes or externally through buying from other countries. Something we touched on earlier, with an eating disorder, individuals get empowerment from the achievement and pride through goal setting. It's the bit that's intoxicating. That's the bit they want, sort of confidence from setting a goal and I achieve that. And that also blocks shame. So if somebody has internalized shame through traumatic experiences growing up, that shame can be neutralized by creating achievement. So when you take that element, the problem with it is as you then restrict, you feel better. And as you lose weight, you feel better. But once you reach it, it's never enough, because it's the process that's the bit that makes you feel good, not the end result.
Yeah.
Which is why anorexia has the biggest mortality of any mental health condition. And so what we're seeing are individuals that historically never had an eating disorder, but now they're able to override their body's need to eat. So we're seeing individuals far more medically unwell, who are coming in serious medical issues, and then just send them straight into hospital in A&E.
It's been very difficult actually this past kind of couple of weeks, because I've been just ridiculously busy, and it's just been really hard to fit everything in that I want to do. I'm getting a little bit overwhelmed, not gonna lie. It's been tricky. The job is going well, my new job, but it's a lot. Obviously, like, it's a new job, so it's gonna be. And I'm having to travel the length and breadth of the UK. So that's an added difficulty to my life. Yeah, so kind of planning how and when I'm going to eat and where I'm going to eat and what's available and how it's going to fit into what I'm trying to do is extremely difficult when you are traveling a lot for work. I mean, I've done it. It's been a challenge, and I could have very easily not done it and just gone and eaten whatever and just relax, but I haven't. But that's added stress. That's been very stressful. My calorie deficit, which is also has come down even more, and it's actually getting pretty tricky now. I'm starting to feel like interesting emotions about it. My motivation to stick to it is pretty high, but for more weird reasons, more like pressured reasons. Like, I feel pressure now. I feel like doing this and knowing that some people might watch it, that knowing that that's going to be kind of out there is kind of puts pressure on me a bit, which in a way is good because it makes you follow through, but also is that kind of, am I doing it for you guys, not me? I don't know. Also fitting in all of the kind of exercise as well, being away and finding kind of gyms and fitting that in is tricky. I've done it, but it's yeah, it just eats away so much time. And I feel like I'm complaining. I shouldn't be complaining, because what am I complaining about? This is all my choice. I'm not complaining, I'm just explaining.
Well, it's 6 a.m. and I can't be fast.
Yeah, I was not feeling it this morning, but gotta carry on. And apparently this is what I've chosen to do with the last few moments of my 30s. So pre-workout down. This is basically just a bunch of chemicals to make my brain feel fuzzy. The hotel was actually quite nice, quite swish this time. A little fancy. Or is it just trying to be a bit fancy and is a little bit tacky? I don't know, what do you think? Then look at that. A Pure Gym literally opposite the hotel. That never happens. So not bad, kind of lucked out this time. Not a bad Pure Gym, this one. Not that Pure Gyms are bad, I think they're all right. But decent amount of equipment. I didn't actually film any of my workout because frankly, I was tired, I was grumpy, and I just wanted to get it done. And when I finished, the sun was out, which made me feel better. This is a little bit of a problem when you're working away for work. The breakfast buffet, that's always just kind of screaming, eat me. I didn't have much of that. I just had a couple of poached eggs and a dry piece of toast.
Still within our culture, Western culture, the predominant way that females socially rank in terms of compare to status within that is appearance. So that's still the predominant way that within that context. Historically, for men, it's been one of the reasons that it's been protected in terms of body image. It tends to be a range of different body shapes that can be aspirational. And there are other things as well, is that the predominant way that men historically socially ranked is about attainment, attaining job, car, wealth, attractive partner, or attaining body, etc. within that. So there's also a broader range within that. We're seeing a shift in on young men where it's becoming more predominantly appearance focused. And what's typically aspirational for heterosexual men typically is muscularity. In terms of the men we see, predominantly it's young men who have wanted to get muscular and lose fat at the same time, restricted their diet, increased their exercise, developed anorexia. Yeah. Or we tend to see quite a lot of gay men who align with body shapes that are aspirational, but tend to be much thinner. Historically, and still all the research around a lot of this stuff is on women, and the services and the research research is developed for women, a lot by women. It's notorious that men come into these services and don't feel services are designed for them.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of gay men access treatment for body image and eating disorders through club drug mental health routes as opposed to traditional sense, because again they feel they're going to be understood more and there are services that are going to be more aligned with their need. Because that's the thing with body image and eating disorders, is people only tend to access care or want care when things are desperate.
I think it's a good time to talk about how much I'm eating, or how little I'm eating, should I say. Calories, I'm eating around 1,844. Dropping down to this has been quite tricky. I've definitely felt a drop in energy and my ability in the gym. To be honest, I think if I wasn't doing much exercise, this would be fine. However, I'm doing quite the opposite. I'm strength training in the gym 4 times a week. I'm running around 25 miles split into 4 to 5 days as I'm training for a half marathon. And I'm playing badminton a couple of times a week. I really don't need to be worrying about my step count, as I'm averaging well over 12,500 steps. Realistically, I'm burning through a lot more calories doing all of this, plus my everyday life. Anyways, I'm hungry. Let's talk about some food. Okay, we're doing a bit more cooking again. So we've just chopped up some ginger. Gonna slice some chicken. So this is going to be enough for like 4 meals, so there's a lot of chicken. Bit of white pepper goes in, a splash of salt and soy sauce. And we're going to do about a tablespoon of oyster sauce in there as well. So put some of that ginger, okay, not all, some. We're going to mixy it with some corn flour in there and get a little bit more on your mixy game. Some spring onions, chop them up nice and finely, or well, as finely as you want to, really. So this is another Asian dish, by the way. This is congee. So I actually use it with chicken stock. And that was me adding some MSG, which I will come back onto in a second. That is about a cup worth of washed rice, which just goes into the stock there, or water if you're using that. Let that come to the boil. Give it a bit of a stir. Okay, then we're going to turn the heat right down and just leave that for about 25 minutes. And then we're going to come back and we're going to whisk the shit out of it. The idea is that we're breaking up the rice here. It's going to make it go a little thicker, and that's kind of what gives it the consistency. So as I mentioned, I put MSG in it. And if you're going to be coming for me in the comments going, oh, MSG is bad for you, it's not. Do you know where that came from? Someone just made it up. Show me some evidence that MSG is bad for you. Go find it. Anyway, so we're mixing. We want to break up that rice as much as possible. We're chucking the chicken breast in there now. It's time for that to cook. So we're gonna let this poach itself in the congee. It's gonna be nice and tasty. So I give that a bit of a stir, and then the heat goes back up to about medium. We're just gonna let that cook through a little bit. It shouldn't take too long. In with the rest of that ginger, because we didn't use all of it in the marinade, did we? And then half, for Christ's sake, of the spring onions go in. Not all, half. Bit of a stir. Let that cook for a little bit longer, and yeah, we're looking about there, really. Give it another bit of a stir. So at this point, I would put an egg in whilst it's still cooking, because I hate raw egg in this. I know a lot of other people would just have a raw egg, but give it a bit of a cook. I think it reminds me of salmonella otherwise. And this is the final product. So it's a nice big old bowl of congee. I'll put the macros here so you know how much. It's pretty high in protein because I use chicken breast, and it's quite low in calories, so it's a good little cutting meal again.
I remember as a kid, we were all centered around food. For example, if the wider family kind of met, I remember going to a Chinese buffet. The term all you can eat was not like a suggestion, it was a challenge sort of thing. Yeah, there was a lot of that mentality from a young age around food. Yeah, I think my enjoyment of food came from that as well. When we were young, that was very much embedded in me, and like food was like a pleasure, but also a reward. It's interesting now, my parents I think they've seen that and how unhealthy it was. I can see that they, nutrition wise, it kind of educates themselves more and become a lot more healthy, which is great.
Body image, when did that start to become a thing?
I think I was always a chubby kid until I was about 16. I think between that kind of period, I did get bullied and stuff at school. To be honest, I wasn't even that chubby, but it was puppy fat back then, because I always loved sport and stuff at school as well. I've always been active. There was a period basically where I slimmed up, was playing like football, was running as well actually. I got quite a lot of attention I think back then for like, oh, you lost a little weight, you done now. At the end of that's when I started realising, oh, I'm not that interested in girls. It mix about how I viewed the male aesthetic. And it kind of seemed cyclical, because we went to like university and stuff. I stayed fairly slim, but even then at that point, I still thought I was very fat.
Which is common, most people, and that's for body dysmorphia, body perception disturbance, is that how you see yourself, which you labeled as chubby, that sense of self. When you're losing weight, that blocks that sense of shame and fear. And the second you then stabilize it, all those feelings come back. Thus with it, that sense of size, even though the size isn't there, the felt sense of it is. It's interesting for me in terms of what you said there, is we kind of then sped up at that bit, which seemed to me then I'd be really focusing in on body image. Suddenly I was big, now I'm losing weight, I'm more desirable, so now that fixed as one of something to hang this on, realizing your sexual preference in your teens. Again, with that, did you early on have a tribe to link to? Or was it
early thousands? It was still pretty not okay to be gay. When I kind of had that realization, because I mentioned my dad was in the forces, we were in Germany, so my dad got posted back to the UK. I was finishing my GCSEs and my sister was finishing her A-levels, so we stayed in the boarding house there. I remember the neighbour of mine and I think feeling strange about it. And that's kind of how I started to realise things were different. From that point, felt very low, like, oh, no one feels like this. I feel very different. I wonder if this guy's actually watching, if he remembers talking next to me. It was like, it just felt incredibly lonely. I couldn't tell anybody at that point my views of what being gay was, and my family's view of what their commentary of a gay person was on TV and that sort of thing, which has since changed a lot. But back then it was very difficult. I didn't really have a base of who I should be, because there wasn't positivity around the gay community. It was all very stereotypes, very big extroverted characters, flamboyant and all of that stuff, which I didn't particularly feel I was. But to be honest, when my younger kind of days, I probably fell into that a bit more because I thought I was supposed to as well. So then kind of came out when I was about 18, had gay friends and went to the local the only gay bar in the village. It was literally like that. Those kind of role models were also very stereotypical. Some lovely people, don't get me wrong. So it was quite lonely, but then I found them as my community, which didn't feel right as well at the same time. So it was a bit odd of where to be. It didn't know where to be.
So I am old, Banana, and I get lots of aches. I get lots of pains. I get lots of achy pain. So I got a guy for that, and I'm about to go and see him. Let me introduce you to Prim. There is literally no one on earth who knows a human body like Prim does. I've only really been having like manual therapy and sports massage for probably about 5 years now, and I wish I had been doing it all the time. I really feel like it helps with recovery, and for someone that constantly gets injured, it's good to get prodded and poked every now and again. So if you need to be prodded and poked and also live in Southeast London, come and see Prim. Especially doing this challenge, it's been a must. It's been vital. Not something I do all the time, but like once a month, once every 2 months, something like that, just to put the pieces back together.
So I want to talk to you a bit more about how you feel about your body within that. There's an elephant in the room, and that is your cushion.
I knew you were going to say it. That's why I knew it, because as well, when I said, oh, yeah, but I always do sit like this, actually, because what? Because I guess I don't like how I kind of look when I'm sitting down.
But makes you feel any better about half my clients?
We all do this. I know I do it. I mean, no, it's because of that as well. I'm too conscious of like what I look like in this position in particular.
I guess it'd be good to hear a bit about how you feel about your body image more recently, and then thinking about it, what would it take for you to put the cushion down? If you complete this challenge, will you be sat there in a while a bit more?
I'll just be sat in a thong, basically. I've lost to see they've come out of weight, and I feel very good about it. Like in context, before I started the challenge, technically, like my body fat was only like 1% over what was normal.
Normal in this country, the average person in the NHS on their criteria are normal individuals who are overweight and obese, because over 50% of the population falls into those categories.
But I guess in terms of that, I was not particularly abnormal. And all my health kind of markers and stuff are fantastic. Visceral fat wise, in the bracket of healthy as well. And I do feel a lot better. I think physically I do, because I'm able to do the sports activities more like easier, apart from getting injured all the time. I do like what I see better in there as well. Still would like it to look better. I don't know when that would finish. I'm not sure it would.
From what you've described, I'm not sure it's ever, because I think there's an element of body perception disturbance.
Hungrier, much hungrier. I want to eat more. I definitely think that the calories I'm eating currently, too few for what I do with all the exercise, and it is a challenge, whereas the kind of the first half of the challenge didn't feel very challenging, it just felt healthy. Whereas now it does feel like I'm going what's beyond healthy for me, and I've getting up too quick. That's an issue. I get very dizzy, especially yesterday. Because of work, lunch got knocked back and back and back. So I literally hadn't eaten much at all, maybe 200 calories. And it was probably 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And I just remember getting up. I was at the airport actually for work. And I went to check the board and I was like, whoa, I'm dizzy. And I did think like, I'd better sit down pretty quick because this isn't good. So that's not good. And I shouldn't feel like that when I'm doing this. I shouldn't be feeling that way to look a certain way. Also, I'm feeling kind of pride in not eating again. Internal monologue wise, I'm like, doing really well now. Maybe I won't eat even more, is what I'm feeling, if I'm being honest. And I remember those feelings from way back when. When I was in my early 20s, I was in a relationship. We broke up kind of the year after going together, and I was crestfallen. It was the love of my life. I was never going to meet anybody else. But I was a lot of weight afterwards. After we broke up, very quickly, so like a couple of months.
Was that intentional? Was it?
I didn't start that way, I don't think. So I think I was depressed, and I did already. But then it turned into a challenge. I remember being proud of myself for not eating. Back then it was all about, burning carbs. So I remember just literally never eating carbs. that exercising alone. So I was young as well. I just lost weight very easily. For my build and stuff, like back then, you could see my bones. Like, but even then, I thought I was. Looking back now, I know what there's some stuff like in terms of like I couldn't get an erection or anything like that. Very, very fatigued. I felt like I was going to pass out like all the time. But then the problem is, me and this guy got back together after I'd done that. So then I think I started to equate this to self-worth because like, I've lost all of this weight, I'm scouting, and that's when I'm desired.
But it's also on top of you already experienced that in your teens, so it's kind of a compounding played in positive reinforcement when you're younger, and then the same things happen then, and it's been positive reinforced. So it's kind of like a
catalyst. But yeah, but even back then when I was that dangerously underweight, I did not think I was. Still would have classed myself as a bit chubby.
Did you get any formal treatment? Because you might have fallen into a diagnostic criteria if it sounds like definitely went off.
It wasn't popular at the time for me. That was not like, it was just normal, and it's what I should have done, and those are the kind of thoughts in my head. It has been a lot this week. I discussed some pretty deep stuff with Tom. I think we ended up speaking for around 2 hours. So as you can imagine, I couldn't squeeze everything into this episode. It was tricky confronting some of my past feelings and behaviors, and realizing that my relationship with food and body image has been such a complex journey. Before starting this challenge, I really didn't think it would take the turns it has. Initially, it was just going to be a body transformation, becoming the best me I can be. But I'm really starting to see just how toxic and negative all of this can be, especially given my past. I really don't think this is all about being healthy, as the obsession and self-loathing that comes with it has just as much importance and impact on my own health. I'd say it's been very enlightening and really helpful to speak with him. I'll put his contact and all his links in the description. If you or a loved one needs this kind of support, just reach out to him. I do feel like I need to decompress now. It's finally got sunny in the spring. Oh, it's spring by the way. Easter in fact. And to prove it, look at all this chocolate I've been gifted this year. Either people don't know what I'm doing at the moment or they want me to fail. I'll be packing this away on the highest cupboard. Well, let's spend a little bit of time in the park and have a kickabout. So Jaden, thank you for meeting me here. We've got some things to talk about. What? I don't know actually. So yeah, how have you found your experience playing football after so many years? Because you used to play for Singapore's national team, didn't you?
No, I did not.
From observing your skills, I would have thought you were like first call up.
Yeah, very funny. Telling you. It just came out of a random thought that, hey, the weather's nice. It is the bank holiday.
It's Bunky Holes.
Yeah.
Yes, a kickabout. A kickabout in the park. That's British culture.
I think football is a sport played around the world.
That's not what I said. A kickabout in the park. Very different to football.
Yeah.
A kickabout in the park is what you used to get up in the mornings for. You used to kind of wait for to be called on, the doorbell to go, and then you go out and you play football like for 12 hours straight until the street lights come on. So yeah, a bit different. So that's the culture of it. How's the running going as well? Because we've got the half marathon coming up in 4 weeks?
I think the running's going okay. Like I think the last one that I did was 17. Yeah.
17 kilometers.
Mentality, or rather my mental state towards the running does like peters off after an hour. So the fact that I have long episodes of podcasts and they finish actually before I finish running, which makes it like, oh wow.
Measuring time in podcasts.
Yeah. I am slightly concerned that we are paying that much money and we don't even get a free shirt at the end. It's just a medal.
You get a medal, yeah.
I've seen how much it costs back home, and it's cheaper, and you get a shirt and medal and whole ass kit and 100 plus.
100 plus is our Lucasade, by the way. Yeah, so you get lots more free stuff in Singapore. The culture is more like, hey, I'm paying, what's my free gift?
But what's your whole goodie bag?
But we unfortunately don't live in Singapore. And also, running in Singapore might be a bit different to running here, right?
I think
it's hot lah.
You run way more often than me.
Yeah, because people are watching me do stuff. Watching me shrink in front of their eyes.
You want to talk about your belt buckle situation?
My belt buckles, yeah. I'm running out of holes now. I'm on my last hole. And I think I've gone down 3 or 4 holes. That's a lot of holes. Put it on this shirt actually. I bought this in Thailand, didn't we, in December?
In preparation.
And I could not fit into it. Well, I could, but it was very tight. It looked like a sausage being squished into a casing. I actually don't have a pair of trousers that fit me anymore. Time to do some shopping. How have you found life with me?
I think it's been okay. It's still mostly okay. I have noticed that the portion sizes have like reduced as well, and that I felt like hungry after eating.
I'm pretty much hungry after every meal now, so I feel like the first 12 weeks was fairly easy to be honest, because the calories were quite manageable. I don't particularly feel hungry. So yeah, the first 12 weeks, and I did that before and after photo for up to the 12 weeks part, and I think it looks, it's good. It's a good photo, I think. So to achieve that, if people wanted to just lose weight, be healthy, I think what I did the first 12 weeks was what people should do. I think the challenging thing is just being consistent with it. But I think from that 12 weeks onwards, this is like the real part of the challenge. I am hungry all the time. This is not what I would class as a healthy amount of calories for me or for someone my kind of weight doing as much exercise as I am. I don't think it's very healthy. I've come this far. I'm to a point now where if I wanted to just quit, I don't think I could.
14 weeks down, 6 more to go. Let's check in and see where I'm at. I started this challenge 14 weeks ago and I weighed in at 90.1 kg. I now weigh 79.9 kg. That means I've lost 1.7 kg in the past 2 weeks, meaning a total loss of 10.2 kg overall. I can't believe I've lost over 10 kg. That's crazy. I'm really pleased with that. Although the past couple of weeks have been more difficult with fewer calories, on the whole, I do feel great, and I'm looking a lot different now. Such a notable change. And I do have to keep reminding myself that objectively, there is such a difference. I won't be changing the calories for the next couple of weeks because I've got a half marathon coming up and I need the energy. Also, I'm losing weight, so there's no need to change anything. My exercise will pretty much stay the same. I'm in the gym 4 times a week with that strength training. I'm upping the miles slightly in preparation for the half marathon, so this will go up to about 30 miles over 4 to 5 days. I'll still be playing badminton a couple of times a week, and I really don't think I need to be concerned about the step count, as I'm averaging around 17,000 to 18,000 steps a day.
Because I'm so overwhelmed with everything, to be honest. Ooh, didn't expect that. Fucking crying over this, ridiculous.
Well, to find out what that's all about, tune in next time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.